Let's get into it. So today we are going to be talking making money. I want to talk about shipping from Alibaba. I got a few questions asking about how do people actually import from overseas, right? If you have a business idea or you found a product or you're thinking about wanting to sell something that you may import on from China into South Africa to sell, this video might be of use to you. So for those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Nyaki. I make YouTube videos here online teaching people how to make money and how to make money babies, savings and investing so that I can retire at 40. But today we're going to be talking about your quest to making money, and that is usually falls part of a lot of people's plan on how they will make, supplement your income or completely, start a complete business. But how do you then bring the things right into the country? Where do you find suppliers? How do you negotiate your terms? How do you get the stuff like shipped across? What things you need to be aware of? So I'm going to go through 5 of those today just to see if this is something that you guys are interested in. If it is and you want me to make another video or a follow-up, we've got other questions, please do leave them in the comment section below. It really helps so that I know why I'm doing this. So the first thing is obviously you need to find a supplier. Where would you find a supplier if you are wanting to import anything online? Probably 99% of us are going to start on something like Alibaba. I have used Alibaba before. It is one of the biggest companies in the world, if not, I can't say the biggest, obviously, but like it is. I mean, it's a big company. But so there are obviously a lot of challenges and a lot of ways that you kind of need to navigate Alibaba. Specifically, but one of the things that I can tell you is when you are using something like Alibaba, just go through all the security checkpoints, right? So the platform Alibaba provides like 5-star ratings and security, like verifications of its what do we call the suppliers of its suppliers, people that use the platform. So go through that, right? So like if there is someone that's got 5 stars and you see someone that's got no stars, like query that. Why is that important? Is that something of importance? They have a lot of different security features on the platform that will allow you to sort and also find suppliers based on a specific criteria. So for example, if you use a supplier that has been around for 6 months versus a supplier that's been around for 10 years, trust wise, you're probably going to go with the one for 10 years. So look for suppliers that have been in the business for a long time. So researching your suppliers is quite critical. Another thing that you can research in your suppliers when you are, or do what you can do while you are researching your suppliers, words are gone today, is you can find out whether they are the supplier, like, the manufacturer, or they're just a distributor. You will find information about this on the internet about like why you should only use your manufacturer or why you shouldn't use the distributor. And I think there's cause for both things. So the manufacturer is the person who actually makes the thing. So if you are selling, this is a lid. So if you are wanting to create lids and sell lids, you may go to a person who only manufactures plastic lids, and that's all they do. They have them in different sizes, different colors, but all they do is plastic lids or plastic products. The opposite, or the inverse of that, says that you would go to a distributor, which would probably be like a macro type or a plastic warehouse, right? So they may sell a whole variety of things and they stock these caps in in their store, or they're able to source them and kind of just keep them on shelf, right? So like more of like a knick-knack tuck shop type. I mean, I talk about tuck shop, but like a huge manufacturing, a huge operation, right? In terms of product distribution and all of that. There is cause for both of those, right? So how you would use both of them is if you are only supplying if you only want to get the lid, then you may, and you're going to order 1 million lids, then you may benefit from getting the lid manufacturer to make your lids, because obviously cost of production is going to be really low because they'll be making 10 million units. Okay. The opposite though, or the other option, is if you go through the manufacturer, not through the manufacturer, through a distributor who has a whole bunch of things, like the macro example, they may be able to source other products for you as well. So if you have the lid and you also need a container that goes with it, right? Because this is glass and this is plastic, the plastic guy is not going to be able to make you the glass thing, which means you may need to have a glass manufacturer. And so by going through a distributor as opposed to manufacturer, you will then be able to source the entire thing, because they will either source for you or they stock those things. So there's cause and there's use case for both of them. But if you do your research, you'll see that that's kind of the conversation that people will always say, yeah, no, you should always go with the manufacturer or you should go with the distributor. So that's one of the points. Researching. The other researching thing that you can do with your manufacturers is, so how long they've been in the industry, what guarantees they provide, and if they're able to send like samples to you. I'll talk about samples in a minute as well, but like just their ability to help you with the thing that you're doing. The other thing that I must say is quite important when dealing with overseas suppliers. Don't think like these people are just like, like random businesses on the internet. Like, these are huge scale operations, and so you need to also present your offering or your request in a like professional kind of way. If you want a professional service and you want to attract professional manufacturers. So if you're going to go the RFQ way, if you want me to do an entire video on just Alibaba, please let me know below, because like I'm talking about one supplier, but I'm seeing that there's like so much to talk about for Alibaba. But I digress. My point here is to say, if you are going to be approaching a manufacturer, even like someone like, on Alibaba or even someone else, be professional in the way that you present yourself. So have like, you need to kind of know what the material of this plastic is, know the circumference, know the design if you've got a design that you need, know the color, know the quantity that you're going to be needing, right? So like put that in a request, whether it's going to go via email or it's going to go by RFQ, in a professional way. Hi, good day. My name is this thing. I'm looking for these lids. I need 1,000 of them. They need to be PEC material. They need to be clear. And I need you to help me with shipping or something. Talk about shipping in a moment, but that's the idea, right? So present yourself quite professionally, because then you will get professional responses back as well. If you're just like, yo, hello, does anybody have these, or I need these, or is this like, you know what I mean? No one's going to respond to you, because these are big operations. If you've ever been to China or you've seen a Chinese operation, you'll see like there's like a little shop there with just people, like a couple of 100 women or men just like typing at laptops, responding to people making RFQs for that thing. And then there's a factory somewhere in the background, with these things being made. So it's like a huge operation a lot of the time. So take yourself seriously, but do your research. And use all the safety protocols that the platform provides. Okay. The second thing, wow. Okay. The second thing that you need to try and do when you are importing, or an important thing you need to consider, is that you can negotiate your payment terms. So okay, this is kind of like leading from the first one, but just one whole conversation. Try and negotiate your payment terms with your suppliers. So it's a little bit tricky when you're doing it from overseas, because generally they may require like money. So this is the negotiation then kind of says like, do I pay you the money on production, or do I pay you the money first and then you produce? You are able then to, you just need to ask like what the payment terms are and how they expect to be paid, etc., etc. And usually pay through the platform. That's quite an important part of this. Like, if I don't say anything, if you take nothing from me today, make sure that whatever facilities that you use to transact, it is the legitimate online platform that is, the Alibaba thing. Don't like let a supplier ask you to send a WhatsApp link and then, pay by Stripe and they'll give you a discount. Because what happens is then you lose the protection of Alibaba. So Alibaba basically says that if you transact on our platform, you will get the protection that we offer. But if you choose to pay your supplier via other channels because you're trying to, get a cheaper rate, you will lose that protection. And if anything happens, which it probably will, you will, whatever. Obviously, like if you've built up a relationship with this supplier, over a couple of months or over a couple of years, then you can probably remove your relationship off Alibaba. But when you're starting out and in the beginning, make sure that you are using the channels that are provided. They may, though, however, like a lot of suppliers will not want to, but like it's easier for you guys to chat on WhatsApp. So you may then, move your conversation off to WhatsApp, but like any payment order things, they will send the Alibaba payment link to your WhatsApp and use that. Don't use like another PayPal account or whatever. Okay. Number 3, optimize your shipping costs. So I have a video and I will put it somewhere on the page here, just talking about how to save on your shipping costs, because shipping is the thing that gets us all in the end. It's the reason a lot of businesses just like cannot scale beyond a certain amount. It's because logistically, shipping is probably the most challenging and also one of the most expensive parts of your whole ecosystem in your business. But it's important to understand how you're going to be shipping. I know in that video I speak about like 2 ways of doing it. The one way is to use a consolidator like Airpool, and the other way is to use a freight forwarder. So a freight forwarder, I think I speak about it as well in that video, but it's basically like a company that you hire then to arrange all of the stuff. You just send them the details, you pay them the fees, and they will make sure that your stuff gets to your location. Do not move stuff from overseas to South Africa without a freight forwarder over a certain amount of money. Like, you are just asking for trouble. Unless you've done it 100 times and you're like basically the freight forwarder, customs and importing and duties and seizures, and you don't want to be that person that stuff is stuck at a border and nobody knows where it is and how to get it. Like, pay for the convenience. I promise you a freight forwarder is well worth it. If you DM me on Instagram, I can send you my freight forwarder's contact, but like, just don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, just make sure you use a freight forwarder. That's if you're going to be importing. Okay. Then the 4th one then kind of speaks about import duties and tax. So when you use a freight forwarder or a consolidator like Airpool, you are liable for the duties and the taxes. What are the duties and the taxes? Is basically the amount of money, it's the taxes that you have to pay because you are importing a product. South African government is like, hey, I see you need to pay some money on top of that. What they use the money for, nobody knows. I mean, I suppose they use it for the government things that they always use the money for. But you are always going to be liable for duties and taxes. Duties and taxes differ. Now, this is the other thing. They differ on the kinds of products that you import. Wow. Let me tell you, there are certain products that have a lower percentage of fees than other products. So, for example, plastics has like a low fee, like 2%, whereas electronics may have like a high fee, like I'm making these numbers up, like 40%. So the amounts, the percentages vary depending on what you're importing. So don't commit to a business idea, don't commit to your branding and your marketing and your all of that until you have this figured out. Because if you don't know how much your product is going to cost you from port, or from supplier to your door, you are going to lose money. You're going to lose money really, 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 really quickly. I do talk about pricing in another video of mine, which I will also link on here, or it will play at the end. I'm not sure. But check that out as well if you're trying to understand how to properly price your products for profitability. That's a wrap. I should be a rapper. Okay, so import duties and taxes. Import duties, like price them into your thing, because it's a cost of freighting. The other thing that you may also incur, which is something that was a surprise to me, is that you may, for certain products and certain materials, need to provide some sort of like inspection fees. Yeah, basically. So what happened is I was importing something that was wooden, and because wood can potentially carry like diseases, you have to have like a fumigation certificate. You have to pay for this. First, you have to pay for the thing to be fumigated. Then you have to supply the fumigation certificate to your freight forwarder, who will then supply it to the port department, and then they will like inspect this thing. This thing costs money, and you have to do it like basically every time you import this thing. So there is also another fee that you may have to incur depending on the type of product that you're importing. So research. This is the research that you need to be doing. You have to go all the way in. Like, I can't stress this enough. Okay, last one. Is quality control. Quality control is important because you need to understand what you are getting for your money. How do you control your quality? Ask for samples, right? For a certain amount of money, it is worth getting the samples. Most suppliers will give you a free sample or a paid sample or a sample that you will pay for or not pay for when you order your batch. Like, so you'll pay it forward effectively. But make sure that before you commit to a huge order that you've seen the sample. That's the first quality control check. And then the second quality control check is that before the items leave for China, make sure you're on a call, preferably a video call with your supplier, making sure that what they are sending is what you are expecting. You do not want to be on the other end of like receiving toothpicks when you ordered plastic lids, just because they messed it up, because they switched a barcode or something. So make sure that before the items leave, this is what I'm sending, this is how the boxes look, etc., etc. I hope this was helpful. That's it from me. I am done talking. This is a series, I suppose, that you guys, I'm going off the clouds. But if this was helpful, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you've got any questions as well, I may not respond to them in the comments, but I may respond with a video, which I think may be more helpful. But yeah, please do like and subscribe. Like if you like this video, share it with someone that you know will find it useful. And I will see you somewhere on the internet. Bye.